It's a beautiful Sunday, September 21st, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's number one casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, co-raps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, always a good time. And the Oklahoma Sooners are 4-0.
Yes, we are. What a football game. That was interesting.
There's a lot to talk about, but I do want to point something out. In order to have a really good season or a special season, you have to get some breaks along the way, and you have to win games when you're not at your best.
Yep.
And it felt like Saturday was certainly one of those days.
I agree. I said it as we wrapped up the broadcast last night. The Michigan game and this game lost the lead in the fourth quarter. And we'll get to all of the stuff, obviously, but those are two football games that we don't win a year ago or 2 years ago. Finding a way to win whenever not everything is rolling your way. You've had some mistakes. You find yourself in a deficit, or the other team has some momentum late, and you find a way to win it. Winning is a skill. You got to know how to go get it done and go win, and we were able to. So there's that. I think that is something that you can definitely take from this is there's a little bit more resolve on this football team, even when things haven't gone well.
There's no doubt about it. And it was a good reminder for me that luck it's part of football. It's part of sports.
Yep.
And so Cody Parkey, Auburn kicking legend, Cody Parkey came into town with his wife and his 5-year-old son. They were staying at our house. We played together in Cleveland, lived together in Cleveland. He was like, "Hey, pal, OU-Auburn, we're coming." I was like, "Absolutely. Guest room will be ready, buddy." And it was interesting talking to him about it because he played in 2 national championship games. Now, they won the one when they had Cam Newton, and they lost the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going through multiple games in both of those seasons where he was going, "Dude, we got this break in this game. And if we wouldn't have got it, we wouldn't have played in the national championship."
Yeah.
And I feel like all teams have those types of games.
No doubt.
They may not all have as many controversial calls, non-calls as this one had, but talking to Parkey about it and those runs that he had to the championship game back in the day with Auburn, it was interesting. He put it into an interesting perspective for me.
Yeah. There's no doubt. This game's going to be talked about, I'm sure, for the rest of the season, right? For a bunch of reasons, depending on where both of these teams end up. And, despite us making a lot of mistakes along the way and struggling in a lot of areas, I came away thinking that Auburn's a better football team than I expected them to be coming in. And it's not that I thought that they were bad or anything, but they made some good plays out there. They were really tough. They were physical. So yeah, you got the win. Now
Let's get into the breakdown. Let's start on the defensive
okay.
side of the ball, Ted. Here we go. Buckle up, folks. This should be a fun ride.
Yeah, I was unsure really how to approach this because it was a game where there is a bunch of really good stuff scattered in with a bunch of big problems. We didn't tackle as well as we have for the 3 games leading in. Now, is some of that the personnel we were going against? Okay, yeah, but a lot of the missed tackles I thought were just either bad reads, bad with our technique, lunging at guys. But a lot of missed tackles led to a bunch of the big plays that they had in the situations where we put ourselves in a really bad spot. Um, you go to the very first drive or the first deep ball that they hit. We're in quarters. We're not even in man to man. We got a 4 deep look. At least that's what it appears to be to me. And we're just way too slow getting out of there. We're all kind of staring in the backfield thinking it's run, and we get run by. Later in that drive, it's 3rd and 10, and Jackson Arnold scrambles on us, and we got a chance to push him out to force a 4th and 7, 4th and 6 at worst, and we just do a flyby on the sideline. I understand, like, you don't want to take a 15-yard penalty on a hit, but you got to knock the guy out of bounds. When he's in bounds, you got to play ball. And that they converted that and, cost points. They had an explosive run where, well, let me back up. On that same drive, we had a run up the middle where we've got 2 blitzers coming on the outside, and we both stay outside instead of slicing the gap and coming to the inside, and could have made a play. A lot of stutter goes on the outside, and the first one, we got a stutter go, and they hit a good ball on us coming out, and they go to it the very next play, and they got it the next play, and they kind of throw it out of bounds, which was interesting. They went right back at it, but I anticipated they were going to try and take a advantage of our aggressiveness, and they did, and they hit us on those, and that's going to be something that we're going to be faced with the rest of the season. Once you open the door, that's going to happen. But whenever you go back and you kind of look at the thing as a whole, I wish I could say it's our man-to-man coverage we've got to get better at, or it's, these run fits or our alignment in this coverage, but it's just a bunch of random stuff dropped in there. And it's the first time that I felt like we haven't played smart defense. 2nd 20, we get a horse collar. No need for it. I mean, you're right there. You're in position. You got multiple guys coming to help make the play. And I know that those things kind of happen in the flow, but that was a mistake. We had a couple of missed interceptions that were right there in our hands, opportunities. We're just pass interference penalties, missed tackles, crack replace on stuff. I mean, on the long run, that R. Mason Thomas chases it down. Great effort play by him. There's 4 missed tackles on that play. It's dead in the backfield, and we have a missed tackle. Then a couple of guys kind of miss and spin off all there in one area. So I don't know. I guess what I'm saying, it's kind of hard to really approach this because I don't see like a problem area that they have to tune up. I just see missed tackles, some poor play situationally whenever we've got them massively backed up, or it's 4th and 11 and we got an opportunity to rally up and we lose leverage, we miss a tackle, and we get a first down. There's just some things scattered in there that were really poor that I know they're going to be frustrated about. Luckily, we have time to kind of regroup and go back and look at some of those things. But I don't want to just pile on all that because there's a lot of good. Our defensive line continues to be outstanding. So it was just a really weird game defensively as you approach it and you look at it, because long stretches, a great ball, surrounded by some moments scattered in there situationally that we weren't nearly as good as we typically are.
They were, except for the one Jeremiah Cobb run where he broke the four tackles, they were awesome against the run.
Fantastic.
Well, one play where Auburn captures the edge, there's really no edge player on the defense. Not entirely
Yeah,
sure what
yeah,
happened.
it's a crack replace. It's down, down, around, kind of hand it to the perimeter, and we get cracked, and the corner's over there backpedaling. Uh, Ends up being a hell of a play. Kip Lewis comes under the crack and all the way back around and chases it down and makes the tackle. But yeah, we were really good, but the times we weren't, and that's the thing about a lot of the teams in this league, because we're going to see a lot of games like this one. The moments where you're not, if they make you pay, they're going to be able to hang around in football games. And that's kind of the point here is if you're great on 90%, that other 10% can't be as backbreaking as that 10% was for us against Auburn.
Is there anything that you did, like, are these easy fixes in your mind, or is it
Yeah.
like structural things with the defense? Because I think some people will be surprised that you're not more excited about a performance where the defense had 10 sacks. You know what I mean?
No, I know. That's kind of how I felt going in. I was like, this is going to be an easy review. And it ended up, we gave up. And for example, it's 2nd and 11. We're bringing a pressure. We've got too high, and we're misaligned. So we've got like three guys playing one side of the ball, and there's a wide open hook. So it too high, you have four underneath and two high, and you're adding a guy to the rush. So typically you've got five under and two high if you're playing a too high zone. Well, you're already missing a man because you're pressuring. So, and this helps you on some of the stutter stuff to keep too high. But we're misaligned, and we leave the entire one half of the field totally, and it's an easy first down. And it should be he has to eat it and probably take a sack. So there's stuff like that that's scattered in there, and credit them. They were able to exploit the handful of mistakes that we made. Auburn did a great job finding them and exploiting them. So because I haven't seen a bunch of that, I don't think that it's problem areas creeping in, but attention to detail in some of these moments could have cost us even worse than they did.
It feels like one of those performances that you can really grow from defensively. Like, you did a lot of good things. You set
A
the
lot.
school record for sacks for, you know, the vast majority of the day. You completely bottled up one of the best rushing attacks up to this point in all of college football, but there are a lot of mistakes
Yep.
on the tape. So I don't know, maybe the perfect type of teaching tape situation for a guy like Brent Venables.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those you come away with the win, but there is a lot to grind on over the next couple of weeks. Guys that I thought played well. I mean, it's interesting because I feel like everyone played well. Now, Guillory got exposed on some stuff. This was his first challenge as a true freshman, not first, but biggest challenge. And, he's going to look at that and learn from those pass interference calls. A lot of them, he's in good position. Just trust it and turn and find the football and trust your ability to play the football. Um, I they're going to work with him on that. I don't think it's anything necessarily to panic over. It's as long as he learns from it. I've talked about this as a young player. It's easy to go out and be aggressive as hell until the first time you get beat. And he got beat a couple of times. How do you respond? And I think that he'll respond well, but I thought the entire defensive line played well. David Stone is getting better and better and better week by week. Um, Jaden Jackson, fantastic. I thought the edge guys were great. PJ, really good job. Marvin Jones Jr., really good job, but he had that horse collar that was really costly. Taylor Wine, I thought he played fantastic, but he had the flyby over there that they converted. What were they, 3 of 15 or something like that on third down, and that was one of the conversions, and it turned into points. I thought our Mason Thomas came in the second half and was unbelievable. That first sack, they could have called a targeting on it. He goes forehead right into the back of Jackson Arnold's helmet. So I'm like, dang, that was dangerous play. I was worried about it. And then on film, you could see it, but he was great. High effort plays by him. Obviously, the one man sack at the end, running right through that tackle was amazing. Dominic Williams was great. Grayson Holton had the massive loop sack late. That was great. Our defensive line, the physicality, the pushback, just manhandling. That Auburn offensive line is physical. They come off the ball, they get movement, and they had a very hard time getting any movement on our guys up front. I thought all of the backers, played great. Owen Heineke was a monster out there. I don't know what he did to his thumb on that cut block, but he gets up, makes the play. And then later he has that missed tackle on the 4th and 11. So everyone played good, but there's like 1 or 2 plays for everyone that it's like, oh my gosh, these are big mistakes that these guys don't typically make. Kendall Daniels had some great stuff, couple of missed tackles. Peyton Bowen had some great come up and support the run. He was I think is the way I view it. He was misaligned on that play I was talking about, the too high blitz. He had a missed interception. So you can go through like every guide, say a ton of good, but these 1 or 2 plays that are scattered in there really cost us in this football game. And we had a chance to play a lockdown day of football if it weren't for a handful of bad penalties, trust in ourselves in coverage penalties, and missed tackles and misalignments. So a lot of really good stuff. You come away saying that, like, I don't feel any different about this defense, but we still have some things to button up and can be even better than we're playing right now.
It's a game of inches, right?
It sure is.
You had a couple of balls that should have been intercepted. But on the other side of things, it was also very close to being, you're giving up 28-31 to Auburn if Jackson Arnold connects to Coleman on a couple of those where he missed him.
No doubt.
So I think that's kind of why your overall demeanor is the way that it is right now, Ted.
Yeah. It was strange. I was, when we got the win and the D line came through late, I was like, this is going to be fun because, like, as you watched the game, it felt like, well, we've totally shut them down except for a couple of go balls and, a couple of things here and there. There's not a whole lot, but it's one of those never as good as you think, never as bad as you think. And this one was not as good as I thought before I clicked it on and started watching it in detail.
I do have one question for you. In the fourth quarter, why did we not just double Coleman?
Well, it's interesting because on one of these, we've got, it's hard to just pull someone out and go and double. You have to still be schematically sound. And so we started to help on, because they're hitting us on the stutter goes on the outside. Well, where are you going to help? You because you've got single high in the middle of the field. So you've got help in the middle of the field. If are you going to help on the slant or are you going to help over the top? And we were helping on the slant. So that's the thing that Guillory's going to look at. If you're getting help on the slant, you have to give the slant. And he was overplaying to the inside of that, trying to take away the slant more than he should have, knowing that his help is coming down to help him on that. Allow that to a certain degree and prepare yourself for the stutter go. And I thought he was way too square on him, knowing that he had the slant help. That's just one example. But, we did at times, whenever we run the pressure and have the too high over the top, that's what we're doing. Essentially, whenever you're playing a cover two over there, a half field safety, you're doubling that guy on the deep stuff. So we did it a couple of times and misaligned, and we gave him bailouts. So I don't know. Venables trusted his guys to go out there and compete and make plays. And, it's something they're going to have to look at to find a way to perhaps help more in those situations.
If I was Auburn, I would have run the throw it up to Coleman play like 8 more times.
Yeah.
I sometimes just don't overthink it offensively.
The fade down there in the end zone that they scored a touchdown on.
What a throw and what a catch. I mean,
which, by the way,
can't defend that one, man. Too good.
No. But we had 4th and 1, and they run a play, and we're off the field, but the false start saved them. Auburn had a quick little false start. Now it's 4th and 6. We've got – this is one where you've got slant help on the inside on that fade, right? So you need to – when you've got a safety that's here splitting the difference between the core and your split receiver, you've got slant help. You're going to have to underplay the slant a little bit and overplay the fade, and he was too heavy on the slant, in my opinion.
Anything else in what appears to be a complicated review that has your emotions just completely torn?
I don't have anything else other than the ceiling on this defense is still incredibly high. And whenever you come out of this game, it's on both, it's something to be proud of, and on the other hand, something to be really frustrated with. We got away with one, and every now and then you got to get away with some, and and I know that these guys have to, it's almost good that it went this way going into a bye week and going into Kent State, that this is not a performance just to sit back and rest on. That's all I got.
All right, let's talk about what we saw from the Sooners offense against Auburn's defense. But first, taking a road trip this summer? Remember to stop at Love's Travel Stops. You can't miss the heart of the highway, and with the Love's app, you can save big all summer long. You can save 10 cents per gallon on gas and up to 25 cents per gallon on auto diesel. Save with the Love's app this summer and be welcomed by clean places and friendly faces. Certain conditions may apply. See loves.com for details.
It's football time in Oklahoma, and you need beef built like our guys on the field. Premium, powerful, and ready to perform. That's Didier Ranch. They're a family ranch right here in Oklahoma, raising and shipping their own beef nationwide. Steak burgers, premium ground beef, and they hand deliver next day to the Oklahoma City metro and surrounding areas. Norman, Moore, Edmond, Yukon, right from their ranch to your doorstep, faster than the Sooner Schooner after a touchdown drive. Premium beef delivered. Visit DidierRanch.com and taste the luxury of tradition.
And we are brought to you by Simple Modern, the Oklahoma-owned company and proud official drinkware partner of the OU Sooners. September in Oklahoma means one thing: OU football is here. And every home game this season will feature exclusive limited edition drinkware drops from Simple Modern. That means brand new designs only available at that game and while supplies last. You can also get $5 off our podcast tumbler with promo code GameDay on simplemodern.com. And with 10% of all profits going to charity, many right here in Oklahoma, every sip supports Oklahomans on and off the field. Simple, modern, good everywhere. All right, time to break down what we saw from the Sooners offense yesterday. And I want to start here. Auburn scores to go up 17-16. When this offense had to have a drive, they put one together and went and scored a touchdown. We'll talk about all the things that went wrong. And there was a lot that went wrong. But ultimately, that's what matters, man. When your back is against the wall and you have to have it, they went and got it. That you have to go execute in those moments. And this group got the job done when the game was on the line, in my mind.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was a nervous moment in that stadium. And for the first time, you're questioning the defense a little bit. Like, are they going to be able to get a stop if they need to? Like, this may be our only opportunity to go get it done. And they did. Credit them for that.
This is just kind of a random observation. It's not random at all, but I cannot recall a player being at the center of so many controversial calls in a football game.
Crazy.
Isaiah Satania was in the middle of all of these. The fumble, the scoop and score that was overturned, the deception play, the offensive pass interference that was a horrible call right before the half that took a huge play off the board for Burks. The catch down the sideline in the fourth quarter. Was it a catch? Was it not? Like, it was quite the controversial day for Isaiah Satania. I'm not sure I've ever seen a guy be involved in that many plays that were reviewed and that were just debated. It was
and none of them easy calls.
No.
The first, I know, like, if you're an Auburn fan, they all look like really easy missed calls. If you're an Oklahoma fan, they all look like, God, they got it right. You know, the first one, they called it incomplete. The first time I saw it in live action from 80 yards away, the first thing I said was, I don't know that he ever had full control of the football. And that was what they ruled on the field after review. But they were all really strange calls. Like, you don't typically see those.
I was surprised that the SEC put out the statement that it did about the trick play, whatever you want to call the play where Satania runs wide open and they score a touchdown. Because going back and watching it, he doesn't do anything deceiving in my mind.
No. So what's the rule? Like, you can't walk over and get lined up close to the sideline? Is that the new rule?
Tennessee's in trouble if that's the new rule. Because they line up like that dang near every play. So that's where I'm confused, because you run the play before, they bring him in motion and he runs a bubble. And he's just out there in space, and then he just walks
runs a bubble and they hand it on an inside run.
Yes, and he's out in space, and they go tempo, and Isaiah Satania, he's not acting like he's hurt. He's not jogging to the sideline and then stops like on his tiptoes right before it. He just walks calmly over, points to the ref, gets lined up, and is lined up.
He's lined up 2 feet away from the official on the sideline.
Now, is the intention of the play to try to get Auburn to not see him? Yes, that's the intention. But he didn't do anything deceiving. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he faked an injury or he ran over there, stopped real quick, like kept his back turned. He walked over there calmly as OU's offense was operating with tempo, pointed to the official, gets lined up, and runs straight down the field. What's deceiving about that? Someone help me out.
I
Like
don't.
what's illegal? Maybe is the best way to put it. Like they're trying the concept of the play is yes, deception. But what's
Right.
illegal about walking over super wide, looking at the official, getting lined up in a very calm manner? I just don't understand why the SEC issued the statement that they did. It wasn't I don't it was not some egregious illegal act by
No,
Isaiah Satania.
no. And I,
Auburn got distracted by Deion Burks talking trash to all of them.
right. And I thought the rules analyst on television, with the way that he presented it, was like way too strong with like how the whole thing unfolded. Like the way he presented it is, it's not some clear cut easy decision. Like in my opinion, I don't understand why he said that, and I don't understand why the SEC said that. Like this is going to require a very detailed explanation as to why what they did is illegal. It's not a clear cut violation of the rules, in my opinion. Like I said, the official watched him the whole play, and he lines up right next to him. If he didn't deceive that official, like I I don't know. We're going to need more clarification before we just uh issue the game as a tie, as Auburn fans are suggesting.
Yeah, I if I was an Auburn fan, the number one reason I would be mad, Auburn's coaches see it.
They're trying to the guys in the booth saw it.
They are, and the coaches on the sideline, you can see it on the tape. They are freaking out. Hugh Freeze is right next to the official, losing it. I assume he was screaming timeout at the top of his lungs.
And in the post game, when he was asked about it, he didn't say anything about the play. He was upset that he wasn't granted a timeout.
From the way that it looks on the tape, to me, that is a very valid complaint that he's got there. He looks like he's screaming something well before the ball is snapped.
Yep. You can see the panic on that sideline, and it's not like he has to run all the way down to the 10-yard line, and he's like trying to get the officials. They're standing right next to him, like 5 people. So, yeah.
I don't think it was an illegal play, but just watching it on tape sure looks like Auburn was trying to call timeout. So once again, it goes, sometimes you got to get some breaks, man.
No kidding.
But I don't understand. Someone's going to need to explain to me in more detail why the SEC issued the statement that it did. I would like a thorough breakdown of that.
Right.
As to why they think Satania walking calmly to the sideline and getting lined up, checking in with the official, why that should be illegal.
The main point is they didn't try and use the substitute. They went tempo. They got right back on the line. They didn't huddle. This wasn't like a man in, man out deal. So I don't know. I imagine we'll get some clarity on this. This is going to be something that people are talking about for a little bit.
So I feel like we've addressed that.
Yep.
Let's move on. The run game's not good. It's not good. And frankly, just watching it early, I would have been perfectly fine with Ben Arbuckle throwing it 50 times in this game.
Yep.
And I don't think I've ever said that on here. However long we've been doing this, I don't think I've ever come on here and been like, you know what? Let's get away from the run and let's just sling this thing. But in the run plan was strange to me. It was like counter and the inside zone play, which I feel like I've made my feelings very clear on that play over the last couple of years on here. We don't have to relive all of that, but as I watched it, I kept going, why are they not running any of the like the mid zone or the split zone with the wide track action? Why are they not making this big defensive line from Auburn move? Why are they playing right into their hands? And then it kind of dawned on me, oh, yeah, two of our offensive linemen cannot move.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was it. You can't get to a bunch of pin pull stuff when you can't run. You can't run outside zone when you got two linemen on the field that can't run. So you were kind of, I think, or at least that's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine OU's offensive staff went and just like looked at it and were like, we're going to run counter and inside zone right at them. I just think these were the runs that they thought that this line, with how banged up it was, could execute. And I do want to give Wee Woo a ton of credit. Like out there playing with a high ankle sprain, that's big time stuff. Jake Michael, same thing. Out there playing with a bum ankle, man. That's out there grinding for your team and playing through pain. Like that's the offensive line way.
Yep.
But the run game, it's just not good, man. It's just not good. And their inability to move guys off the ball, it limits a lot of what you can do. I mean, Torrey Blaylock had no chance. I'm over there getting mad at him for bouncing a couple, and then I kind of see it, and I'm like, well, there was essentially one counter play. I think it was early in the third quarter where I thought, yeah, no. The hole is there. Hit it and let's roll. But other than that, there was just nothing there in the run game. And the interesting's a word for it, we're going to see defenses better than Auburn. We're going to see defensive lines better than Auburn. And one of them, we're going to see him in Dallas in 3 weeks. Texas defensive line is for real. The core of that defense is for real. They cannot run this stuff against Texas. They cannot knock Texas off the ball running inside zone. They can't. They don't have the guys for it up front. So, you've got 3 weeks to figure out a run plan. What fits the group the best? You got 3 weeks. And you better figure out something else because you have to have some balance as an offense. And this was a complete lack of balance offensively for this team against Auburn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm with you, and I like how they transitioned to the second half and just started throwing the ball and taking advantage of spreading them out and throwing it underneath. And unless they find a plan like you're talking about, maybe a true air raid type of offense for a big portion of this season.
I'm sure they will do kind of like a 4-game audit throughout the bye week. And if Arbuckle looks at it and goes, guys, we may just have to air it out. I would have a hard time arguing with that.
Yeah.
Just with what you've seen in the run game. You saw some success against Michigan. Temple's Temple. Illinois State's Illinois State. This was the one legit defense you've played against. And just, you got to call it how you see it. The run game was an absolute disaster.
Yep. So
you gotta reevaluate some things, in my opinion. We'll see. Now, getting to the position by position stuff. John Mateer, 24 of 36 for 271, a touchdown. Had 29 yards rushing, had that massive touchdown run in the fourth quarter. I'll start here. He did not look like himself to me.
I agree.
pregame, sideline. That knee appears to be heavily taped. And you saw some moments where, like, okay, he's got to take off and run. He still looked like he had speed, but I don't know, Ted. That was just my perception of it, is that something was holding Mateer back a little bit in this game.
Yeah. And I will credit Auburn for some of that. I thought they did a good job kind of containing him in their rush lanes, changing up some of those delayed blitzes where looks like you're rushing three guys and then you get these late blitzers coming in. I think it messed with Mateer's clock quite a bit, but I'm with you. It definitely looked like he didn't have the explosiveness that he typically has.
Thinking about his best plays, man, he had some dimes in the middle of the field and down the sideline. Like the controversial catch, no catch to Satania in the fourth quarter. That is just a beautiful throw.
Yep.
Some of the throws in the middle of the field to Canick, just really high level throws, just layering it over a backer in front of his safety, like big time throws. I believe I said it on the broadcast, like first round type throws. And I didn't think he took any unnecessary risks with the ball in this game, which was good to see. Like he turned it over a little bit further through the first three games, and I thought he was smart with the football. Out of all the plays in the game he's going to want back, they ran that little tight end hide play to Carson Kent. Jaron Canick is so open, it's unbelievable for a touchdown.
Yep.
I don't know what his progression is on that play, but they're all going to see that on film and go, oh my gosh. The other thing I would say is he started drifting a little bit in the pocket. Backing up is not the way to go.
Right.
It's not the way it's not going to be helpful, I promise. It just opens you up to getting hit more. So that's something he's got to trust it. He's got to stand in there. But there were some leaky things in the pass protection stuff, and we'll get to that in the offensive line portion. But yeah, I thought Mateer looked, even though I don't think he was fully himself, like he still looked like the best player on the field for us.
Yeah, no, I agree. And there were some stretches of quiet football from him, but when he needed to step up and make plays in the crucial parts of the game, he did.
Wide receiver, Deion Burke, 6 for 40. Now had the big one taken off the board because of the OPI call before the half, which was, turns out you just can't run out routes anymore, Ted.
What was that?
It was a horrible call. That's it. That's a ref looking, I don't know, for something to call. It's a terrible call. He's just running a route. He doesn't even like touch the guy hardly.
No.
I don't know. Bad call. But hey.
Which the weird thing is, after you get called for it once running a normal route, I don't know why you think the next time you should lower your shoulder and actively make a block on the guy.
Yeah, the second one for Satania, easy call. Refs got that one right. But looking at Burks, just a solid day. One thing I want to see from him, they are doing a solid job of getting him the ball in space. And he's really yet to make a guy miss. Do you know what I mean? Like he is, like on some of those drag routes, he's getting the ball in space running in the middle of the field, and then he runs and goes and gets tackled.
Yeah.
Go make someone miss, man. Like, don't be the fast guy that just gets tackled by the first guy.
Yeah, it feels like he's been close, but we're back to that kind of ankle pick deal where we're just a little bit away from making the first guy miss and turning it into, I mean, even if you turn it into 3 or 4 more yards, as we learned in this football game and will happen through the rest of the season, you go back to it, it's a game of inches. And if you can make that first guy miss, you're going to start piling up some better situational football for yourselves.
Do want to give him credit. Really nice job blocking on Mateer's touchdown run
Was good.
to take the lead in the fourth. And then the first time we jumped into the ninja formation, he goes screaming down the middle of the field.
Right past the backers who had him, right?
Mateer's got to throw that ball. You got to take that chance. I mean, he is untouched, screaming down the middle of the field. Throw it up. Throw it out there. Let him go get it. I would like to see them get back to that at some point. Like, if that's how a team's going to play it, you got to take that chance.
Yep, I agree.
We'll see. Isaiah Satania, we mentioned just an unbelievable amount of controversy for this young man in this game, but a solid performance. I mean, when you look at the production, Ted, Satania with 9 for 127 and a touchdown. So that's big time stuff for him. And he even, maybe my favorite play for him of the day is it's the free play. We snap it. He runs down the field. He catches it and gets blasted. And then one of the coolest first down signals I've ever seen. He's laying on his back after getting laid out and just hits him with a first down. It was great. But he is he has become a very big weapon in this offense.
Yep, I agree. I still like he's done a good job after the catch. Just some of that, I mean, smooth. He just kind of snakes his way through tacklers and turns what looks like a 7-8 yard gain into a first down.
Yeah, he has been, out of all the wide receivers, he's been the guy that's been best with the ball in his hands.
Him and Canic's been pretty good.
Yeah, we'll get to Canic now. Keontez Lewis, 2 for 29. Ball just didn't find him a ton, but he continues to do a nice job in the middle of the field. I do want to point out Jermichael Carter. He has not been playing a ton for this team, but on the Satania fumble that ended up getting overturned, he is the farthest guy from the football for Oklahoma. He passes all 10 of the other OU guys on the field on that play, trying to go make a play on the ball. It was, that's what it looks like.
Yep.
He runs by every other dude wearing crimson. And he was, and I know, hey, the other guys are playing a lot more snaps than him. I get that, but I wanted to point that out. The effort he displayed on that play will not go unnoticed.
Yep.
By people in that room and people in that building. Ivan Carrion, 1 for 3 yards. Maybe the first time all season where Ben Arbuckle has called something and I went, what was that? And no offense to Carrion, but they run the Lincoln Riley drag screen, Ted, your favorite play. And they throw it to him, and he's just not the type of player you throw that play to. I didn't understand that at all. That was a strange one for me.
I wonder, did he just happen to find himself out there on the field in that situation? I don't know.
Very possible. I don't know, but a strange play. Moving on to the running backs. Javonte Barnes, a limited role in this game, 1 carry for 0 yards. He did have one of my favorite plays in the game. He absolutely smashed 17 on a pass pro late in the first half. It was awesome. Did the guy trip a little bit before he hit him? Maybe, but hey, still looks great.
Still got to fold him and make him pay, and he did.
He was wide open when he got out late, and Mateer just kind of sailed it over his head. If he catches that, maybe scores. And we're talking about him having a bigger impact in the game. Torrey Blaylock, guy ran hard, but what? 11 carries for 13 yards. Not what you're looking for. He bounced some stuff to some unblocked guys, but I really can't blame him. There's nothing there. I mentioned the one GY counter that was blocked really well that he bounced. If he takes it where it's supposed to go, it's a nice chunk run. But other than that, I think I think we can get him more involved in the passing game. I continue to be impressed with how natural he looks catching the football out of the backfield. I wonder if we can expand the number, the types of routes he's running coming out of the backfield.
I feel like Mateer had opportunities in the game to check it down to him on the swing, and there was plenty of room for him to go operate, and Mateer didn't get to him very often on some of those. Um, I'm with you, and I think that you don't even have to make much more of an effort in adding it. I think Mateer needs to get used to checking it down to him on that swing a little bit more. It doesn't look like it's a big part of how he likes to progress currently, but there's plays where he's got space as he checks and leaks out to the flat where he can catch it and get going downhill in space on some guys and probably make a guy or two miss.
Blaylock cut several times in this game in pass protection, which you typically don't see from a DeMarco Murray coached running back. But you also got to remember the shoulder injury he's dealing with, and I got to do what you got to do. But that could be connected to some of the pass protection issues. Because if you're an offensive lineman and you go help on a guy late and the running back comes and cuts him, then you're getting a 15-yard penalty. So I don't know. It's just you typically haven't seen DeMarco coach guys to cut guys, but Blaylock did it several times in this game. So I don't know, just something to watch moving forward. Xavier Robinson, just a few snaps. Looked like he struggled a little bit in pass protection, and maybe that's why we didn't see more of him. But I would have at least liked to see him on the gap scheme stuff if they were going to run it as much as they did, because he's got a really good feel for those. So I don't know.
He's the timing he runs that play with usually suits it a little bit better than Blaylock. But yeah, who knows if it would have had more success.
Moving on to tight end, I regret telling Jaron Kaepernick he needs to learn to hurdle. That was hilarious, though. That was pretty funny. Just a straight kick to the chest.
I saw someone has a picture of it, and it's like perfect knee thrust to the chest shot. It's pretty awesome.
Need to continue to find ways to isolate him on backers and safeties. They can't cover him. And one thing I will say, like, I love how fearless he is in the middle of the field. He completely trusts Mateer to not throw him into danger. There is no hesitation of going, like, reaching up fully extended in the middle of the field. And not everyone's wired that way.
I know that's not an easy thing to learn, like, especially when you've been on the other side of it and you know what those defenders are thinking. Yeah, it is impressive.
And it could have been a massive day for Kaepernick. Mateer barely missed him on one down the middle of the field, which would have been a huge play. And then we talked about that tight end Hyde play where Mateer throws it to Carson Kent like it's a touchdown for Kaepernick. It's a touchdown. So I continue to believe this guy, Kaepernick, he's one of the biggest weapons we have. Maybe the biggest. The best.
I know. That's what I was about to say.
Let me know if you disagree, Ted. I think he's our biggest matchup issue for other teams.
Yeah. And it's the guy, I mean, the reason tight ends, whenever you have them, turn into such huge weapons is because you don't have a lot of answers for it defensively. You can't start putting corners on tight ends. You're going to have to cover them with linebackers for the most part, safeties some, but even safeties, you get into a size mismatch on some stuff where, you can wall them off with the body. So, yeah, I mean, I would imagine as they go back to their 4-game audit, like you talked about, what's worked for us, what Where's there more room for production? And I'd be shocked if they don't come out of that audit saying that we need to start featuring Canick in more situations instead of being an outlet or a read in a play. Like, we need to start featuring him to get him open.
There needs to be a big column on Arbuckle's play sheet that just says get it to 12.
Yeah.
I talked about how I think you have to have serious conversations about reworking the run game. That conversation needs to include keeping Jaren Canick away from the point of attack against edge guys. It continues to go poorly. Get him to where he's blocking alley defenders. Get him to where he's blocking inside backers. The split zone stuff is still good, but split zone, zone insert, stretch lead, set him up for success. Because, hey, this just in, he can't block Keldrick Falk. It didn't go well, man. It didn't at all. So how many times are you going to ask him to do it when you continue to see it's not going well? That would be part of my rework of the rushing attack.
Yeah.
Stop setting Canick up to fail at the point of attack. Now, his technique, his feet, his hands, his pad level, that all has to get better as well. Like, Jaren Canick has his role in this. I'm not absolving him of everything. But set the guy up with some better matchups.
I agree.
Like, get to some different concepts. That's got to be part of getting this run game going, is setting 12 up to be in the scheme, but giving him good matchups in the run game.
I agree.
Offensive line. Oh, well, Carson Kitt, handful of snaps and 12 personnel. Really nothing of note, good or bad. Just really nothing of note there.
But it was him instead of Huggins. Did Huggins?
I don't recall Huggins playing a snap.
Yeah.
Maybe he was in on the late knees, but other than that, it appeared Kent was.
Yeah.
And that was something like that. I think that was a change you had to make with what we had seen through the first 3 games.
Yeah.
So, but really nothing of note from Kent. On to the offensive line. Logan Hallen. I have come to expect a certain level of play from Logan Hallen, and for me, he played below that level in this game, and it's not an effort thing. It's not a physicality thing. It's a technique thing. He is in his own head about his pass set. He is. Now, the issue a week ago was he was stepping underneath himself with his left foot on his initial kick. Now, instead of that kick coming back and on an angle, it's going straight sideways. And he's just splitting his feet and getting his base real wide. And that is putting him in a bad position to where he has to scramble to get back and get into the proper position.
Open up the edge.
Yep. I expect that to get corrected over the next 2 weeks. I know how dedicated Logan is to trying. Like, this is a guy that is constantly working to get better. I expect him to get that worked out. Because when you get too wide and then you have to open up and turn and then you shorten the corner, you end up with the same problem. You're just getting there a different way, if that makes sense.
Yep. No. Yeah, I understand.
So he's got to set himself up to succeed with his feet. It's all his feet. Like, the way he uses his hands, like, he does some really good things. He did some good things in the run game. He's not a mauler or anything like that. But if this is going to be, I mean, let's be real. If this is going to be a pass first team, he has to get his pass set figured out. Because right now it's all over the place.
Yeah.
That being said, I expect him to figure it out. Because I know he's going to work and work and work at it. We did see I've got Fasusi down for 9 snaps. The guy could barely move. Like he should not have been on the field. Like I don't know. I was encouraged with how he was moving around. Remember last week at Temple, he's like jogging with a walking boot. Maybe he shouldn't have been jogging with a walking boot on.
Get the guy out there in a walking boot. Let him play in that.
So he is. I mean, he could barely move. I'm honestly glad with the way that he was overcompensating on his other leg. I'm honestly glad he just came out of this thing unscathed.
Yeah.
We really need this guy to heal up over the next, let's call it 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to need him in a big way the rest of the way. So he's gotta live in the training room. He's got to get back. With the guy that played against Michigan's the guy we need.
Yeah.
I'm just going to forget what I saw in these 9 snaps.
Right.
You know the little blinky thing in Men in Black?
Yeah.
Gone. Like I never saw it. But he did not look anywhere near healthy.
Yeah.
So whatever he's got to do, man, you got to do what you got to do so that when you're walking down the ramp in the Cotton Bowl, you're ready to go. I don't care about Kent State. We don't need him. Don't need him against Kent State. I don't need him to prove he's some super tough guy against Kent State.
Right.
We need him against Texas, who is elite on defense.
Yep.
Arguably the best defense in the country that I've watched on film this season. Really, really good. So whatever he's got to do to be ready to go for that one, do it. Heath throws out a weird game for Heath. Effort is solid. Physicality, solid. Needs to get his pads down in the run game. Playing too high. He's a tall guy there in the interior. He's got to get down, especially when you're playing against heavy guys that play with good pad level. Like, you've got to match that, man. You got to get down. But there are several instances where, man, you got to be a football player. You got to be able to think critically and react, even if something is kind of outside of your job on a play.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned earlier, Ted, the pass rush coming late. There are several of those instances where those guys are going right by Heath Ozida. It's not technically his guy, but it's the Sam backer. It's a safety. And he is right there. Just block him, dude. And one of the reasons, and this is something, it goes back to that audit after 4 weeks. One thing that I can say with 100% certainty is that Jake Michaela is a lockdown pass protector at the center position. He doesn't need help, Heath. Go block someone else. 69's got it. He's going to get beat sometimes, I'm sure. Like he's going to get beat in SEC play some. But I'm good with if 69's on an island in pass protection, I feel really good he's going to win a lot more battles than he's going to lose.
Yeah.
So if there's a sandbacker running right by you, block him. Safety, add late, running right by you, dude, just block the guy.
Find some work.
Be a player. 69's good. Don't help 69. Go help 71. 69's got it. So that's an adjustment is you get in that offensive line meeting room, Arbuckle gets that group together and goes, guys, you have to adjust to your strengths. And one of the strengths of this team right now is Jake Michael up, maybe the best pass protecting center in college football.
I like that.
It's now him in the run game is a different story, brother. But if you're just talking straight up pass protection, like they need to start thinking help out to the tackles. Now, typically the general thinking of an offensive line is secure the interior, secure the integrity of the pocket. Michaela, up to this point, has shown that He's the best pass protector we got. So now that you feel like you know that, yeah, we still want to secure the integrity of the pocket. We want to secure the interior, but let's start when things are equal. Let's go help the tackle.
Yeah.
Or let's block these guys that are adding. You're standing there not blocking anyone. Go just he's running right by you, just block him. Just play football, man. So I don't I don't know if that made sense, but that's just how I feel.
No, I understand. And that's gonna have to be like it's hard to say, like I don't know what they're saying in the meeting room, but that may need to be adjusted as well. Like how and you mentioned that. Like
Well, let's say Fasusi can't get back. That ankle just can't get right. When you're playing Texas, and Texas has good interior pass rushers, they've got good edge pass rushers. Simmons is an elite pass rusher. Don't help Michael up. Go help the tackles.
well, and it's probably an adjustment that they need to reevaluate because that probably wasn't the same coaching point if Everett was at center.
Correct.
So
No doubt.
know your teammates.
Know your personnel. And you've got this week, and let's be real, you got Kent State next week. You can work on yourself for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the way that you're doing things. Jake Michael, I mentioned, continues to just be fantastic in pass protection. With that being said, he continues to create no movement in the run game. Now, he's playing on a bad ankle. I respect him going out there and battling the way that he did. I did not expect him to create any movement at the point of attack against Auburn's defensive tackles. I didn't, and he didn't. It didn't happen, you know? But just with the bad ankle and the quality of players he was going against, just a really impressive performance in pass protection. The technique, the bend, the hand placement, the anchor, like it's just, dude, it's just good. It's really good.
I like
it's good.
Do you see is the ability in the run game there? Do you think that's
He's a zone center, dude.
Yeah.
He's a zone
like
center.
one.
He's tall, he's lean, and he can run. He's a zone center every day of the week.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not expecting him to just maul guys off the ball when he's back blocking 13 times a game. You know what I mean? It just, hey, cover him up. Make sure you don't get rolled up. Eyes, hey, got to have eyes in the back of your head on those counter plays at center, Ted. Come on
Hot
now.
feet. Yep. Hot feet.
Fabechi Wee Woo just out there battling on one leg with the high ankle. I would say, and I don't mean this disrespectfully in any way, just looked like a shell of the player we saw through the first 3 games. When it came to the explosiveness he had at the point of attack, he looked like a guy playing with a bad ankle.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. But the thing that helps Fabechi is he plays with really good technique, man. Good feet with a good base, tight hands, good eyes, which I thought was his biggest issue last year. Now he's playing with good eyes. Just all things considered, I'm going to say it was a solid performance. There are a couple counter plays where you really could see him struggling to change direction, like they were going underneath his poles. He's having to log it, and you can just see, oh, this doesn't feel very good. I'm trying. He got the job done, but it just wasn't some punishing performance. You know what I mean? I appreciate him going out there and battling through the pain for his team. I'm not here to just be like, oh, he played terrible. You got to consider all the circumstances, man.
No
Good
doubt.
defensive line, bad ankle, like out there just grinding through it, you know?
Yeah. No, and it's the that's like the one of the worst things too, the ankles, because the stability, the trust, the feeling that whenever you sell out, are you going to get rolled up? Like it's an anchor that you're trying to play with. It's tough.
His injury looked the worst out of all the guys with bad ankles, and he went out there and he looked the best out of those guys.
Yeah,
So I don't know what that says about him, but I tough dude,
yeah,
tough dude. Saw some Foj got out there in the extra lineman stuff. I wish we would have run more of that.
I agree.
Arbuckle got to. I felt like a genius. He got to the tackle over stuff right away.
Hmm.
But I think we could have gone to more of that. But when you get into that stuff, you're trying to create angles in the run game, and they just weren't having success running the ball hardly at all. So I think he kind of just got away from that, and I can't really blame him.
Yeah,
But
I
I
thought that they had some good matchups for Kanik in that some of that stuff though.
that's really what I wanted to see. I wouldn't have mind seeing him getting some more 12 to throw it and getting some of the tackle over the extra lineman stuff to throw it.
I agree.
So we'll see if that becomes more of a piece of what they're going to do with their struggles up to this point at the point of attack at the tight end position. I wouldn't mind seeing some of the 6-0 lineman stuff
I agree. I
because
agree.
if everyone thinks you're going to run it, and if you throw out of it, now you got an offensive lineman pass protecting instead of a tight end. Sign me up.
That's where I'm at, and I. It's funny that we're talking about the deception part of things, which the almost everything that has to do with offense is deception. Okay, but like if you just need to pass pro and have maybe a little more punch in the running game, what are we talking about? Get an extra lineman out there. It's not like everyone is going to like totally abandon what they do. It really doesn't change anything defensively. I mean, even if you just want to strap one of those ugly, huge jerseys on them and give them an eligible number, it's they still going to have to cover them. They're still going to have to line up the way they line up. So put someone out there and get some extra muscle in the formation. I got no problem with that.
I want Ryan Foj in an 80.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
do it.
That Texas has been doing that the last several years.
Yep.
Why not?
Put him in there. Be the second puller or, on power counter.
On the run
Whatever.
split zone with Foj. Runaway beer truck coming at an edge player. Let's see it.
Put him in the wing position and stretch it to that side where he's, comboing up with a tackle on a tight end or on a defensive end or something. I'm with you.
Yeah. At this point, I think once again, the reevaluation of the running attack. If you feel good about where Foj's at, like get the guy on the field somehow.
Agree.
Derek Simmons, the only guy I haven't talked about, thought he was clearly OU's best offensive lineman in this game. And don't get me wrong, lost some battles in the run game and in pass protection, but 24 and 15 can play.
Yeah, good players.
And he did a really nice job, physicality, effort. I enjoyed the way that this guy plays and handled himself well in his first SEC action. Now he got the test against Michigan, so I kind of felt like I knew what to expect from his level of play in this game, and I think he honestly kind of exceeded my expectations.
Good.
They put him on an island in pass protection more than I thought they would, and he handled those situations the vast majority of the time very well.
Nothing wrong with that. I like it. Yeah, he feels like a guy that we don't talk about during the game hardly at all, which is for an offensive lineman typically a good sign.
That's all I got, man.
I've got a question for you.
I will try to answer it, bud.
This is what I get asked about the most. Why through the first 4 games are we not throwing it down the field very much?
I don't know. There
My
are
first
some
thought is like we haven't gotten a lot of looks that allow for it, but I know there's some out there.
right. There there have been opportunities, and for whatever reason, Mateer hasn't pulled the trigger.
Okay.
Like going back to the ninja formation, like Burks is screaming down the middle of the field. Throw it.
See, and that's one of the things that I was I've been kind of surprised about because if I go back to the spring when Giovanni Gibson was out there, um, in spring ball, Giovanni Gibson they were going deep to him a bunch, and maybe that's a personnel thing, but another guy that they were going deep to a ton and having a lot of success was Elijah Thomas. Is a great deep ball player. We haven't seen him a lot, which, I don't really care a whole lot about as to why. There's their reasons, and that's fine. But I guess through the first third of the season, that's been one of the biggest surprises offensively. The running game, we all kind of expected the running game was going to struggle, right? But I've been surprised that we're not pushing it down the field more because from spring and even in the fall camp, Mateer, I saw him pushing it down the field a bunch against our defense. So I guess I don't have a good answer. There's maybe not a great answer for it.
I will say we have seen a lot of deep zone coverage.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons you've seen Mateer attack the middle of the field and the holes in those zones as much as they have with all the crossers and the
low
routes where
passing
they're
game's been great.
yeah. So you take what the defense gives you. That being said, like we just watched Cam Coleman, nothing complicated. Hey, go run by this guy.
Max Pro, stutter go,
We
make a play.
Can you recall one of our wide receivers just running by somebody?
No, not a lot. We've made some plays now. We've thrown some balls down the sidelines, and they've all been great balls and really great coverage that we've been able to make plays on, but not a lot of, I mean, and it's crazy because all you have to do is go sit down and watch the ESPN final on College Game Day and see free runners all over the field everywhere, so
We need somebody to decide, hey, I'm going to start running by guys.
yep.
Burks, Satania, whenever Giovanni Gibson gets back.
14, Elijah Thomas.
He's showing up on special teams over and over and over again. He's looking fast on kickoff coverage.
Yep, he can go now.
He's looking fast on the punt team. Is it too complicated to say, hey, 14, go run by this guy?
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, I hope like that's one of the things we need to get to. And I think eventually if you can start hitting people on some home run balls, that's going to help the run game and how people play that. But I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Let's get to call your shot. We asked you guys the number one takeaway from OU's win over Auburn. This first one comes from @ColtonC_17. He says, special teams was incredible. Minus in the turnover battle again and still won the game. First time OU has trailed in a game all season. It was only for 5 minutes because they immediately answered with a game on the line. Most dominating defensive line performance I can recall. Grayson Miller drops bombs, bro.
Holy cow. I mean, and I was trying to, I talked about this on the broadcast some, but the bomb he hit where the guy for Auburn caught it running backwards and ended up in his own end zone and had to bring it out. Huge flip to field situation for us. I almost can't blame the Auburn returner because he was standing on like the 20 something whenever they lined up to punt. That was not a pooch punt situation. Pooch punt, you tell the guy, heels it 8 yards, 9 yards, like whatever they decide. If you have to go backwards, you're not catching it. Let it hit. When you start on the 20, that's not the case. Catch the football. And he's running backwards. He catches it over the shoulder. And I bet when he saw that red paint, it's like, oh my God, how far did he punt this thing? That was incredible.
He has become a weapon for this team. And
Yeah.
credit to the coverage team on that punt team. When he's launching these missiles, they're all staying in their lanes. Like they've been very, very disciplined in getting guys on the ground when he's punting at 60 yards.
5 punts, 54.4 yard average.
Jeez.
Incredible.
And a
Huge
fantastic
performance.
and a fantastic mustache.
Critical.
And
Critical.
Sandell, hey, some big kicks from Sandell, man.
3 for 3.
So yeah, our buddy Colton, he's right. Special teams were fantastic. Now, this other one comes from Bravo's champ 2021. He says, our fans sure do complain a lot for being 4-0 and ranked in the top 10.
Yeah. And I always say this, having
Our breakdown of the offensive defensive performance, I don't think is going to help the complaining.
no, this is how it goes though. I laugh every year. It's like, if you would have polled the fan base, would you be happy with 8-4 this year given the schedule? Yeah, I think 8-4 is pretty good, honestly. 8-4, 9-3. That's probably where most people would say, okay, good. Well, we're now 4-0, and anything less than undefeated is going to be unacceptable. And that's how things change, and that's how you want it, frankly. All right, you want high expectations, and I've learned that this fan base knows what they're looking at, and they know when there's more there. They know when there's problems. So you can't really, that's just how it's going to be. I mean, that's what comes with playing at a program like this.
They were up in arms about some of the special teams issues early in the season. Those things have been ironed out.
So far,
Now,
looking good.
now Sooner Nation is concerned about the run game. Valid concern because, and I, like you mentioned, Ted, this fan base knows what it looks like. And I think one of the reasons you're hearing the fans be so vocal about the run game is because we've got a national championship caliber defense.
Yep.
And we've got a national championship caliber quarterback.
Yep.
So when it's clear what the weakness is of the team, like the fan base is going to bring that up over and over and over again. Because if you get that figured out, then all of a sudden you just might have a team that can make some serious noise this season.
Yeah.
That's it. I get where the fans are coming from, man. I do.
No, I agree. And, hopefully, like the biggest thing about this game, well, the biggest thing about the game is you won. Okay. But the
Fact.
second biggest thing about this game, in my opinion, is that we got out of it without suffering any more, at least that I know of, injury issues. And the guys that were playing hurt, like my biggest concern is if Michael gets rolled up again in that game, and I don't, Fabechi has to maybe come over and play center, which he's not played, and he's already in a lot of pain and struggle. Like we were in a very, very bad spot depth wise going into that game, where if we suffered something, we were going to be in a lot of trouble. We made it through. We need to get healthy, regroup, and like the biggest thing for the run game is getting our offensive line back healthy again. But we also do need to find, like, what are we going to do and how are we going to attack it? We need to find something and either shift what we're doing as an offense overall or start to develop something in the running game, or make the decision. Are we going to be a, like you said, throw it 50 times a game type of team?
This podcast is already going to be way too long.
Right.
So we're not going to dive into this, but there's also at some point a place for the conversation of being able and going to pick up players during a season in college football.
Right. Yeah.
Because it'd be awfully nice if we could go acquire Wake Forest's center, who was Arbuckle's center at Washington State last year.
Playing some ball.
I just knows the system. Bring him in. As a guy that has had to go in to a system and learn it in a couple days, like you can do it,
Hey,
especially if you're familiar with it already.
I signed in Buffalo on Sunday or on Friday and played on Sunday. So I get it.
This things feels very professional. So maybe that's the next step, being able to, when you have these types of injuries, acquiring a guy. Just saying.
Yep.
Just saying. All right, let's get to our week 4 college football recaps. But first,
Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. SchwabMeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
and head to the garage for hand smashed patties, butter toasted buns, and ice cold beer. My go-to is the double bison cheeseburger. It's so good. The garage is the perfect spot to watch any big game, and you can enjoy Rad Hour every day. Enjoy discounted domestic beers, house wines, draft cocktails, and frozen cocktails Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Visit eatatthegarage.com to find a location near you or order online from the garage in your neighborhood.
Insurica's launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
South Oval Lager is the NIL beer, and it's more than just that. It's program beer with pride in every sip. South Oval Lager is brought to you by Bagman Beverages, a collaboration between Skydance Brewing and Red and West. It's made by Sooner fans for Sooner fans. Their mission is to build a brand that tastes like tradition while investing in the future. Every South Oval Lager you drink supports NIL in Oklahoma through donations to the Sooner Club. Find it at Skydance Brewing or at any of their local retail partners across Oklahoma. Email drink@bagmanbeverages.com for more information or visit their website, bagmanbeverages.com. South Oval Lager, it's program beer. All right, time to break down the best games or the biggest games of week 4 of college football. I would like to point out Indiana beat Illinois so bad that they have been bumped to winners and losers. We're not going to break down that massacre here, okay, bud? Sound good?
Wow, that I did not expect.
We'll get to it.
Whew.
Let's start with Florida and Miami. Miami wins it 26-7. Very weird score. And Miami was in complete control of this game. It felt like they were dominating this game. They were dominating the game. And then Jaden Ball scores a touchdown with a little over 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, and it's 13-7. And Florida picks Carson Beck off, and you're going, wait, what is happening right now?
No doubt. That was it did not, it's one of those games where you're watching, like we were watching it at the house and we were just kind of loosely paying attention to it because there was nothing going for Florida, and then bam, all of a sudden. But Miami responded in the fourth.
Yeah, they responded the way that good teams do, and they were clearly, if you watch this thing down in and down out, they were clearly the better football team. They completely controlled the game at the line of scrimmage. They may be the best line of scrimmage team in the country with that O-line and D-line.
Dude, Ruben Bain on defense.
I can't stop staring at his legs.
That guy is.
I don't even know what his arms look like.
Woo, he is a player, man. Wow.
They are extremely entertaining to watch on defense. The way that they fly around and strike you, it's fun to watch, man. And then on the offensive side, they got skill talent that can go. Fletcher and Brown at running back, all the wide receivers, like they This team flies around, man, on both sides of the ball. It's very, very entertaining to watch.
The thing about like the big difference in, at least to me, whenever I watch college football compared to NFL football, college football is very scheme oriented, um, team defense, responsibility driven. NFL, you watch just a random passing play in the NFL. If it's a 8 yard play, you have like an incredible route that's run by a guy. You have like great like one-on-one protection, and then defensively, usually to make a tackle on an 8 yard play, someone makes an unbelievable one-on-one tackle. It's so like individually driven. It's a ton of like these one-on-one battles on the field in the NFL. That's what it feels like when I watch Miami play. They play kind of like an NFL team where you have these great one-on-one wins everywhere. It's impressive.
With that in mind, if Miami wants to accomplish what I assume are their main goals this season of winning a conference championship and a national championship, Carson Beck has to be better than he was in this game.
Yeah.
If they want to make real noise, like he cannot be as inconsistent as he was in this game. The arm strength for the first time looked a little, I don't know, he's kind of floating a bunch of throws in this game, threw a couple picks. I don't know, just he did not look sharp, but it really didn't matter because Miami's defense just suffocated Florida. They couldn't do anything offensively. Ted, they had 139 yards of offense. DJ Lagway, Mr. All Everything coming into the season, 61 yards passing in this game. They were 0 of 13 on third down.
It's brutal. And I'll tell you what's crazy. And Florida is going to get hammered. They're 1-3. I get it. Their next game is against Texas. Okay. But their defense, they lost to South Florida giving up 18. They lost to LSU giving up 20. And they lost to Miami giving up 26. So, and they held them, it was what, until the fourth quarter against Miami, they had held Miami's offense to just 13 points through 3 quarters of football. I get it. Their offense is terrible right now, but that defense is performing pretty dang well against what are thought of to be really good offenses.
2025 Florida is 2024 Oklahoma.
Yes, that's right.
The defense has held up their end of the bargain, and the offense has been an absolute disaster. And the big time quarterback recruit has been maybe your biggest issue.
Again, go back to
it's very similar, man.
What we talked about all offseason, like him not being able to practice with the football team basically until the season started. Not good for a young quarterback.
The Gators are 1-3, and Miami looks like one of these teams that it'll just be very, very surprising if they are not right in the mix when we get to January.
Yeah.
They look good. All right, moving on to the next game. There's a big one in the Big 12, and Texas Tech went to Salt Lake City and handled business.
They did. And
34-10, Ted.
34-10, and they were up 10-3 at halftime, but they had, I mean, what, 2 interceptions, like in the end, throwing into the end zone as well. Like it ended up being 34-10. This game could have been much worse than what it ended up being.
It's not that complicated, really. And Kyle Whittingham even admitted it after the game. And you could see, I went and watched the clip. You could see just almost the shock on his face when he said it. He was just like, hey, Texas Tech was more physical than us. They went to Salt Lake City and controlled the line of scrimmage against a program who, like, that's their thing.
Yep.
And maybe the worst thing Utah did was knock Baron Morton out of the game because Will Hammond came in and that dude balled out. It was
13 of 16 with 2 touchdowns.
13 to
Efficient.
16, 169, 2 touchdowns, and dude could scoot with the legs a little bit. They dialed up some QB run game with him. And I hate I know he's dealt with a lot of injuries throughout his career, but him getting knocked out, like the offense opened up with Will Hammond out there at quarterback.
Yep.
There's no other way to say it. Like they got much better offensively once he stepped into that role.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if there's something there with that, but at least for the one game experience, you got exactly what you want from your backup quarterback. Came in and handled the offense and hit guys, explosives, was efficient, toted the rock 61 yards. That's a hell of a performance from the backup.
Joey McGuire may have an interesting decision to make.
Yeah. What was it? What did Morton go out with?
Got blasted. The natural assumption is he was concussed. So I don't know, but if you love turnovers, that first half of that game was was for you. Utah could not hold on to the ball. It was crazy.
That was wild. Some of those receivers just got the ball straight up taken from them on those interceptions.
Texas Tech's defense, they went all in to assemble the defensive line that they've got. Spent a lot of money to do it. Longest run of the day for Utah was 8 yards.
That was kind of the conversation, the storyline going in. Okay, hey, you've put a lot of money into it. This is the game that you should go win. If you're the way that you're going to operate is going to work, and I think they made a statement that the operation is working just fine.
Tech committed 14 penalties, turned it over twice, and won by 24 on the road.
Yep.
Pretty impressive, man. I mean, there's no doubt who's better between those two teams.
Yeah.
Bottled up Dampier, like really, really impressive performance on the road in a huge game for them.
Yep. Which is something that we didn't really talk about a whole lot in our football game, was the amount of penalties we committed and how big of a detriment that was to us. 100 yards, I think, right around in penalty yardage for us. That was a lot.
The throw it up to Coleman play is hard to defend.
It sure is.
They should have done it more. All right, last game we're going to break down. Michigan went to Lincoln and got it done, man. 30-27. And I don't think I watched this entire game this morning. I don't think this final score is really a great reflection of how this game went. To me, it felt like Michigan was in control pretty much the whole way. Like, that's just how it felt to me. I thought they were the more physical team. I thought that they were just the better team for pretty much all 4 quarters.
Yeah. I mean, you look at it, they did what they typically do. They play great defense and run the football. And, they ran it for 290 compared to Nebraska's 43. I know Nebraska was able to throw it around a little bit on them, but 2 of 13 on third down, stuff the run, put them in third and long. That formula still works in football.
You don't want to give up the explosive run in football, Ted.
Nope.
Michigan, touchdown runs of 37 for Underwood. Justice Haynes had another 75-yarder.
He's ripping off some long. That's 3 super long runs so far.
And Jordan Marshall had a 54-yarder. So touchdown runs of 37, 75, and 54 for the Wolverines. That'll do.
Yep.
So a little more QB run game in for Underwood. A couple of really nice QB draws. And then that Michigan defense, bunch of OU fans, oh, you made them sound like they're the 85 Bears. They're not bad on defense, man. 7 sacks, Raiola, a lot of that game was just kind of running for his life, man, on some of
Yep.
those dropbacks because they couldn't run it. They just couldn't. They couldn't move Michigan at the point of attack. He had to throw it a bunch, put him in some bad spots, and they struggled for stretches to protect him. And he's not a super mobile guy, Ted. So it's just kind of a bad combination there for the Huskers.
Yeah. Um, I what do you think in Nebraska? Where I mean, now the rest of their schedule, they've got a bunch of. I think they're going to have a good season. They got a bunch of winnable games, but I still don't think they're on that tier yet for like what you would consider a playoff caliber football team.
No, uh, I
I expect them to win a bunch of games though. Like they've got, Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, and Northwestern are their next four games before they play USC at home. Like I think they're going to win all four of those games. There may be a slip up, but I would expect them to win all four of those. USC, winnable, we'll see. But UCLA, they can beat them. They can beat Iowa. I mean, they got USC and Penn State left, and those are the two games that you would say maybe they lose.
I
Being
think
9
they're
and
going to
3
get
season.
housed by both of those teams
Yeah,
because I
I
just
do too.
don't think they're dynamic enough.
Offensively, yeah.
But it's also they've lost 28 straight games against top 25 opponents. And I know that goes back to all the Frost stuff. Like I get that. And rules, I do think Rule has it going in the right direction, but I'm just not picking Nebraska to win a big game until I see it.
That's how I was with this one. But we'll see. We'll see how they can continue to get better. But sometimes whenever you've got like when you just don't have the guys to do something that you need to do, it's kind of like at some point you got to say it is what it is until you get the capable players to do those things.
Only other thing I have on this game is I would just love to know the percentage of teams that have lost a game where they connected on a Hail Mary during the game.
Right.
Because what was it? Raiola DeBarney before the half to make it 17 all at half. It's like this feels like this massive play in the game, and they lose.
Yeah.
I know it's not at the end of the game, but I've said like if a what are the chances a team connects on a Hail Mary in a game and loses?
Yeah, and it gave you some momentum definitely going into the half, but you came out, you went three and out, you went three and out. That's the end of the third quarter. And then you got a field goal, three and out, and then a touchdown late. So Michigan's defense came to play in the second half.
Yes, they did. It's a nice win for Michigan. Nice win for Biff.
That exchange he had with Saban was hilarious.
Dude. It's impossible not to like that guy. I mean,
I would not figure him for a car guy, but he's talking about the Ferrari super fast, and Saban's like, well, yeah, when it came time to pony up for money, you got alligator arms. He's like, yeah, we'll talk to my Bentley dealer or Rolls Royce dealer that I just bought a
Biff
car.
is independently wealthy. He was a hedge fund guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Go
fun.
read up on that guy. What an interesting cat.
That was just not the exchange I expected from those two guys. That was pretty
Don't
funny.
don't judge a book by its cover, Ted.
That's right.
Don't judge
That's
Biff
right.
by that cover, by the way he looks. All
Still
right,
waiting on that Ferrari super fast.
let's finish up with our winners and losers of the weekend. But first, for all of us Sooners, there comes a time when we need help. We need someone to fight for us, and that Sooner is Jeff Marr at the Marr Law Firm. If you are battling cancer or any other life-threatening condition and your insurance carrier is either slow playing or outright denying your treatment, use the law to get the medical care you need. Marr Law Firm believes you shouldn't have to fight your insurance company while also fighting for your life. Go to see Jeff Marr at the Marr Law Firm. They turn victims of insurance bad faith into champions. And three things matter in banking: service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise, it's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go. And go to opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED. Buttery soft and 10% off. As always, Ted, kicks off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Missouri's a good football team.
Correct.
Missouri's a good football team.
Better than I want them to be, Ted.
That's right. Yeah, they got it going right now, man. That was a good win. I mean, credit South Carolina for showing up and putting in a gutsy effort. Sellers, wasn't sure if he was going to be able to play. He came out, threw for over 300 yards, did some really good things out there. But, the thing to me that stands out about Missouri is I don't see a glaring weakness. I feel like they can run the ball. They got a playmaker with Pribula at quarterback. Their defense is solid. They are just a solid, well-rounded football team that continues to pile up wins. And, you start going down their schedule. I mean, there's going to be some tough ones throughout there, but I feel like this is going to be a team that's battling to see if they can make it to the SEC championship game. They're going to have to win some big games. They got Alabama coming up here in the early October. They got to go to Vanderbilt, A&M. They got to come here to Oklahoma. But I think that Missouri is going to be securely in the race to make it to the SEC championship game.
I think with the way, when you look at the matchups, I think Oklahoma is going to be the biggest challenge on Missouri's schedule because they are one of the best rushing teams in college football. What they have in this one, 287 on the ground. Ahmad Hardy, really good. Jamal Roberts, really good. Pribula can run. But that OU defense, like that's going to be the matchup. Like, can you shut down that run game and make Bo Pribula beat you from the pocket, throwing the football around? And they got playmakers at the skill spots. They do. They absolutely do. But, like, that's why I say I think OU's going to be the toughest matchup for them because I think we can force them to play in some situations that aren't their strength, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and
maybe I'm just trying to speak it into existence, but that's like when I look at that schedule, I think OU has the best rush defense in the SEC.
Yeah, I do too. I will say though, we haven't played a team that runs the ball like Missouri does. We are excellent at the gap scheme stuff because of how big and physical we are in the interior. I'm curious how we are against an outside zone team, that tries to make our big guys run on the interior instead of trying to back block them and gap scheme them. That's going to be an interesting matchup.
South Carolina is a much better team with Lenore Sellers on the field. That's for sure.
No doubt.
I mean, they look completely different than they did a week ago when he got knocked out of that game against Vandy. But I'm with you, man. Missouri's better than I thought they were going to be. And the key to playing that team is slow down that run game. We'll just see if anyone's capable of doing it. That Missouri offensive line controlled this game, and Caden Green did not play. Like, their starting left tackle didn't play. He got hurt this week during practice.
Yeah.
And for them to be down your left tackle and go out and play the way that they did, like, that's impressive.
It's a big win. Not one before the season that I don't think a lot of people would have had them winning this football game with what people thought of South Carolina preseason and Missouri with a bunch of question marks. And it feels like they've answered a lot of those questions. Done a great job.
Good football team.
Yep.
Good football team. All right, who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Arkansas got beat by Memphis. Um, and Taylor Green has been fantastic so far this season. He wasn't very good. 18 of 34 with a touchdown and two interceptions. Um, he did some things in the running game, 53 yards rushing. But the story of this game, you got issues if Memphis runs the ball 40 times for 294 yards on you. Ouch.
I that all happened. And if they just don't fumble the ball on 2nd and 2 when they're setting up the game winning field goal, they win the game.
Crazy.
I mean, you hand it off, Mike Washington fumbles it. It's a brutal way to lose a football game. I mean, it just is. But yeah, yes, they got gashed. But I expect at this point, I just expect Arkansas's defense to get gashed.
Yeah.
That's kind of their reputation defensively. But this was a game where I don't know if you want to say like they relaxed, like they were up 28-10 with a minute 35 to go in the second quarter in this game. And Memphis goes right down the field, scores a touchdown right before the half to make it 28-17. But still, like, it was, I mean, they gave up a 64-yard touchdown run to the Sutton Smith guy. I think it was 64 or 65. And like Brendan Lewis is like holding on to the ball and like riding the mesh in it. I don't know if it confused Arkansas's players or what, but like no one touched him. He goes and runs for a 64-yard touchdown, untouched.
Wow.
It was a weird game. It was a weird game. They should have, I don't know, it felt like Arkansas blew it, and it felt like one of those where the way that it unfolded, getting out to the big lead early, and then mistakes in the key moments. I don't know. I haven't checked my phone since we started recording, but is Sam Pittman still employed there?
As far as I know, I don't know, but that's going to be a hard one to recover from, being on the hot seat before the season started, and a couple of fourth quarter turnovers, and you get beat by Memphis, and the rest of the season all of a sudden becomes very bleak.
It appears I do not see any Sam Pittman news as of now.
I imagine there's some behind the scenes stuff going around, though. I imagine there's some action happening on the phones right now.
All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first, I want to introduce y'all to the fantastic razors from Harry's. Listen, we get it. Two bearded guys telling you need to try some razors, but hey, bearded fellas, we gotta line stuff up. Got to make that neck look good. Got to make the cheek line look good. Don't be looking sloppy out there. And this Harry's Plus razor has been awesome. Now they sent us orange, which is hilarious, but they have other colors. Don't worry. I went and checked. And I also love this foaming shave gel. Feels like I'm able to give myself a barbershop quality shave to get things looking nice and crisp. And we know a lot of y'all are clean shaven guys. Try these razors. Try the shave gel. They've been great. And luckily, for a limited time, our listeners can get Harry's trial set for only $8 plus a free gift at harrys.com/OKBreakdown. Just head over to harrys.com/OKBreakdown to receive our exclusive discount. After your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you. We are Mando Men. This is actually the deodorant both of us use. And new customers can go to shopmando.com and get 20% off site-wide and free shipping with our code OKBreakdown. Cheering for your squad is hard work, which makes the deodorant you choose very important. Mando's sweat control deodorant stick stops odor before it starts, and they have great scents like bourbon leather, Cloverwoods, Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport. Mando's starter pack is also perfect for new customers. It comes with the solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. New customers get 20% off site-wide and free shipping on shopmando.com with our code OKBreakdown. That's shopmando.com, code OKBreakdown for 20% off and free shipping for new customers. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. All right, for my winner of the weekend, Give me Indiana. Whoa. Whoa.
I did not see that coming.
And it was over quickly. I mean, it was one of those where if you watched the first quarter, you went, one team is faster, one team is more physical, one team has better players at every position.
Yep.
Indiana dismantled number 9 Illinois. Ted, your final score 63-10.
Just they kept running away with it and kept putting the foot on the gas. I mean, you look at the second, like they had the touchdown off of the what was it, the blocked punt.
It's a good way to
And,
start things.
they go down and score on their next offensive drive after that. They give up a touchdown though, 3 plays.
Great throw
But
by
then
Altmar.
which I really like him. That's why I
He's a
was
really good player, but he could not set his feet and throw the football in this game. That Illinois offensive line, that's one of the most disappointing units in the country for me. They can't block anyone, man.
no. Illinois, they had 2 3-and-outs in the first quarter. Or excuse me, Indiana had 2 3-and-outs in the first quarter. Also scored 2 touchdowns there, the one off the blocked punt and then another touchdown drive. After that, touchdown, 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 end of game.
Mm. Indiana's got
Beat
a
down.
fun group of skill guys. 3 really solid backs like Elijah Sherratt. They call him Waffle House, by the way. Incredible nickname for a wide receiver. Omar Cooper, EJ Williams. Like they got playmakers at wide receiver and 3 really good running backs. And then Mendoza looked awesome.
Illinois has had a really solid defense. Mendoza, 21 of 23, 2 incompletions, 267, 5 touchdowns. And Indiana ran it 49 times for 312. Dude,
To Illinois' defense, they are decimated in the secondary. And had a guy get thrown out for a targeting call, which I hated. Please change that penalty. It sucks. Please. But still, Indiana carved them up on the ground, 312 on the ground, 267 in the air. They got whatever they wanted offensively against that Illinois defense. That group had no answers against the Hoosiers offense. None.
They are at Iowa next week, this coming week. And then they've got to go to Oregon and to Penn State. I think they win every other game. Michigan State, UCLA, Maryland, Wisconsin, Purdue. They're far superior to those teams. At Oregon, at Penn State.
Coming into the season, a lot of people looked at Illinois and their schedule and went, Illinois is going to be the Indiana of the 2025 season. Turns out Indiana is just going to be the Indiana of the 2025
Well,
season. They're going
Illinois,
back to the playoff, man. I'll be at this point with the way that they looked in this game. I'll be surprised if they don't make the playoff.
hey, Illinois, they might be the Indiana of last year, but Indiana this year might be the Ohio State of last year.
No kidding. The way that they looked at this game, I will say, Kurt Cignetti said some things in the offseason.
12-0 at home.
Hey, you can play ODU in Kennesaw State, in Indiana State, in the non-con if you're just going to blow the doors off teams like this. This was
You're going to beat a number 9 team in the country 63-10. Okay, well, who cares who you play in the non-con?
he had his group ready to go. That's for sure.
You cannot win in Indiana apparently all of a sudden. Impressive.
Cignetti Talk your stuff, man. That was a complete and total beatdown.
Uh,
Like they kept cutting to Bielema on the sideline, and he was just like bending over, looking at the ground, like,
I don't know. I mean, you tell me. I, how good are they?
I I think Illinois has some serious issues offensively, especially along the offensive line. Like I don't think that's a good group, but Indiana just looked so much more dynamic than them at the skill spots. I don't think Illinois' defense is just trash. And like I mentioned, they're banged up in the secondary, but man, they carved them up.
New AP top 25 has Indiana at number 11. And I guess like looking at the top 10, other than maybe Texas, it's kind of hard to put them in front of anyone else that's in the top 10. Oklahoma's now at 7. Um, but I got no like when I first saw 11, I was like, I feel like that's too low. But you know, you're going to have probably probably a top 10 matchup against Oregon when they play that football game.
They're not sneaking up on anyone this year, man.
Nope.
Especially when you destroy Illinois like the way that they did.
Crazy.
Whoa.
Impressive.
All right, my loser of the weekend. Thought about going with Clemson, but it's to the point where I just feel kind of bad now. Like Dabo was sad after that game. And great win for Fran Brown in Syracuse. Just a great win. And
Turns out, I may be running sprints after the game.
maybe we were wrong. I think I called him a clown. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. Whatever he's doing, clearly. I mean, they just went to Clemson and beat him and controlled him. Controlled the game. But my loser of the weekend, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Now, Ted, we focus on the teams that win the games typically on this podcast, and that's what we're going to do here. So while Oklahoma State's my loser, let's talk some Tulsa, mighty Golden Hurricane. Go to Stillwater under the blackest night sky in America and win for the first time since 1951. First win over Oklahoma State since 1998. Congrats to Trey Lamb and those players, man. You know how much that game means to a bunch of guys in that locker room that felt like they should have been recruited by Oklahoma State. That had to be an incredible feeling for that group to go get the job done in Stillwater. And Oklahoma State's a bad football team. There's no other way to say it. But still, to go get it done, hats off to Tulsa, man. That's a huge, huge win for that program.
I didn't see all of it.
You didn't miss much.
I saw most of the first half, and I listened to a pretty big portion of the second half. I was shocked early in the game with how clearly Tulsa was controlling the line of scrimmage, especially with their defense against Oklahoma State's offensive line. I mean, just chewing them up. Tackles for loss, nothing in the run game. It did not look like a mismatched Power 4 program against a non-Power 4 program at all. That's not a good sign.
I continue to be blown away by how poorly Oklahoma State plays along the offensive line.
Yeah.
Because it's not that long ago. Oklahoma State had some really good O-lines, really well-coached, physical groups. And this group can't move Tulsa off the ball on 4th and 1 inside the 10 when you got to have it. Got to have it. Can't do it.
Yep.
Just all kinds of issues across the O line that just, frankly, at times it's hard to watch. It's like, what is this guy doing? Like, I found myself, and I didn't care who won the game, but I just get frustrated when I see such a poor level of play along the O line. I don't know. It's just, it was tough, man.
And the personnel on the defensive side. I mean, you mentioned the O lines and some of the. I mean, just think of the offensive players that have been through Oklahoma State in the last decade. They've had some great quarterback play, great running back play. It feels like they've always got one of the best big play wide receivers in college football. All gone. Defensive side of the ball. I mean, they were playing some of the best defense around a couple of years ago, and they had NFL type players and great college football players on the line of scrimmage, second level, in the secondary, really good at safety. Like they don't have any of those guys. I mean, the whole team they basically got a bunch of first year guys on this team, and the talent just isn't there.
Who's sadder right now, Oklahoma State fans or Wisconsin fans?
I I I don't know. They're
But
both probably at the very bottom of it.
both in a bad place
The
currently.
emotional well-being is not good at either places, but I think it has to hit way harder for Oklahoma State, considering that a couple of years ago they're battling to get into the playoff. They had a Heisman Trophy favorite, the favorite coming into last season, and now you have nothing to grab a hold of and say at least we have this. It's tough.
Seth Morgan, MVP of this football game, 4 made field goals for Tulsa. And then I thought that Baylor Haynes played a really nice game for Tulsa, but look at Dominic Richardson, the pride of Bishop McGinnis Catholic High School, getting it done. Workhorse, Lehman, 31 for 146, workhorse.
Good football. I like Trey Lamb at Tulsa. Give them a lot of credit. I mean, I know the big conversation is Oklahoma State and how bad they are and what are they going to do with Gundy, but I think Tulsa's got a good head coach. I do.
We're not going to be on the third page of the paper anymore. I thought that he had some stuff ready to go for that post game presser. That post game interview. That was great. But I think one of the most alarming parts about this for Oklahoma State is they had 2 weeks to get ready for this one. Blackout, all black jerseys. Boone Pickens Stadium looked packed to me,
Yeah.
from what I could tell.
On a
And then
Friday night after getting blown out on the road, getting 70 basically hung on you, fans represented and showed up.
and you go out there and play like that.
Hurts.
It's alarming, and we'll see. I mean, everyone's talking about it. Gundy's buyout is 15 million, and it feels like Oklahoma State football is at a serious crossroads.
And I continue to say, like, I love Mike Gundy. What he's done there has been, one of the best coaching jobs in college football over that stretch. And the problem is they're at a point where money talks. And if you're an Oklahoma State donor, it's like, what am I throwing money at right now? It feels like whether it's the right move or, I mean, it can be debated, but they need something for people to get behind at Oklahoma State. And if that's a coaching change, maybe that's the direction they got to go, because they need people to re-energize and feel good about the direction of that program, because financially they're going to have to pay to play, and You're going to have to hit the portal and get players in there and try and make something happen pretty quickly. And it's going to cost a lot of money. And right now, I don't think that they're going to get people to throw a lot of money at the program to help out.
I've already talked about my private equity idea for Oklahoma State football in here, so I'm not going to go down that road again. But
Yeah.
point still stands. There's a path to getting funds for the program if you can't get the alums to pony up. There's a path. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. But yes, rock bottom for Oklahoma State losing to Tulsa. I mean, getting just drugged by Oregon's one thing. That's maybe the most talented team in the country. I mean, we'll see how this thing plays out this season. Getting beat by Tulsa on your home field is a whole nother thing, dude.
And I say what you want about the Big 12. I don't know how competitive they are in the national landscape, but they have a bunch of solid football teams, and it's hard to look down the schedule for Oklahoma State and find any wins at all on there if things don't change big in a very quick time. And I don't know how that's going to happen.
And one thing, like if the fundraising, like the NIL piece isn't looking good, like what coach is going to want to take that job?
I know it.
I've said it a lot on here. I know there's a lot of OU fans that like seeing Oklahoma State miserable like this. I don't think it's overall is good for the state of Oklahoma for Oklahoma State to be this bad. And I know I'm saying that when congratulations, Tulsa. I'm not saying you guys don't matter, but it's just I don't want Oklahoma State to be the seller of college football. I don't think, at least. I don't know. I don't just
seller of college football, basketball is in a tough. I mean, they're in a tough spot all the way around. It kind of feels like.
Still got a good golf team.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But just the vibes are not great in Stillwater.
Not good vibes. That is the statement of the day right there.
Let's change these vibes. How about this? Birthday shout outs.
Okay.
Happy first birthday to Paker Edgecombe. Now, it was sent in as Paker, Paker, but I'm going to go ahead and do this just in case. That was a typo. Also, happy first birthday to Parker Edgecombe, because I've never seen the name Paker.
It's got to be one of the two. I think you made the right call there.
Okay.
Happy 8th birthday to Maverick McKeating.
Happy 11th birthday to Quinn Lutz.
Happy 20th birthday to Mark Williamson.
Happy 28th birthday to Montana. I can't realize, did I type Lindsay or Lindsley? I'm not sure. It's the happy birthday, Montana. I apologize.
Happy 82nd birthday to Grandma Sally.
And happy birthday to Roger, the Lawman Honey. What a great nickname, the Lawman.
The Lawman.
On that note, episode 565 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Wednesday. Just take it easy on us this week. I'm having elbow surgery tomorrow. Now we're going to get everything done. We're going to try to get everything done the same way we always get it done. But I was told by my lifelong friend that is doing my elbow surgery that it is no big deal and I should be fine. So we're all good. Okay. Just getting it scoped. Turns out wasn't golfer's elbow, Ted.
Okay.
Turns out if you punch people with your arms for a long time, your elbow can kind of just grow extra bone. And then you can only bend one arm this far when you can bend the other arm this far. You know?
Would it help if he just locked that thing out straight for you for your golf game?
I don't. We'll see. The hope is to get back on the course by getting the elbow cleaned up. Okay.
I like it. You'll be fine. You'll be a new man.
We're gonna do an in the weeds from some of the top plays from the Auburn game, and then we've got a fun in the weeds plan for you guys on Thursday. We're gonna do the top 5 plays for all the other SEC teams through the first 4 weeks of the season.
I like it.
So, and which are just, it's top of the five. It is 5 of the top plays essentially that have happened in college football so far this year. We'll break those down.
There's some big ones, some good ones.
Going to be a lot of fun. But so we'll have In the Weeds Tuesday, Thursday, new pod Wednesday, and we'll know OU's SEC opponents for next season by then too.
That's
so
right.
We got a lot to talk about this week, so it's still going to be a fun week. Don't let my elbow hold us back.
It won't. It won't.
Make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, make sure you check out our website, okbreakdown.com. Hope you all have a great start to your week. And until next time, we appreciate you all for listening. Do we always do, Oklahoma? Take care of each other.